It's the Detroit Pistons. By the way, another administrative note. We're going to be sitting on the tarmac for another week for my brand new heavy metal show here on WMMS.
Oh.
As it finally occurred to us that sports are going to jam us up occasionally, and we didn't want to premiere on a night where a Cavs game might cut into us.
That makes sense.
We're doing a new show that was going to premiere this Saturday. We're going to push it to March the 11th. It gives people another week to get their heads around it. For local artists to submit things to me, we will have an email box for you. The show is called 2 Hours to Midnight, and it's going to be Saturdays from 10 to midnight. When we're not getting cut in by sports, you know, once we get into Guardians baseball season, that'll be a thing too. So we'll take it as it comes. It's me, Corey Roddick, Pat Butler. The three of us will be doling out 2 hours on Saturdays of nothing but metal across the spectrum. People are like, now it's not going to be podcast. I will post the playlist every week. Podcasting is a whole other thing because there's music rights and all that. So that won't be a thing. But I will post the playlist weeks then we do it. So once we kind of get our sea legs with this show, I think it'll be a lot of fun. But we're going to delay the premiere a week to March the 11th because I don't think that the Cav, and again, no, they'll be off that night. I wrote the Cavaliers front office and I said, hey, it's Alan Cox. And they said, who? And I go, over there at MMS. And they were like, what? I go, we're the FM flagship for the Cavaliers. And they're like, all right, I'll take your word for it. And I said, hey, is there any wiggle room here? Any way that maybe you guys can push the game up, back, whatever the preferred nomenclature is? And I received no response. So I'm going to go with, we're going to do it next Saturday night. But very excited to start that show and to present it to you on Saturday nights from 10 to midnight.
Now, I would like to say that in, solidarity with you, I would move the date of my show in Warren, but we're going to move ahead with March 3rd.
You are?
Yeah, we're going to stick with March 3rd.
Yep.
And those tickets at billsquire.com. $20 in advance, $25 the day at the door.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to get them in advance, save a few bucks.
And get back there to Warren, Ohio.
Mm-hmm.
How far do you think is reasonable to expect people to travel to your show?
Because it's not 3 hours walking distance.
Oh, 3 hours to walk.
Yeah.
All right.
I wouldn't expect anybody 3 hours driving, 3 hours walking. Yeah.
Okay.
You can make that work.
So like a 12-mile radius. I mean, that's not that far,
For walking.
For walking, right.
For walking.
Yeah.
For driving, I would say an hour to an.
Okay.
But, we'll all allow up to 3 hours.
People on average walk about.
Whatever you want to do. It's going to be a fun show.
Weather permitting.
Yeah.
The walking thing. What do they say? The average person can walk about 4 miles an hour. So walking-wise, you are only giving them a 12-mile radius. Driving-wise, they could conceivably come from a lot farther.
Right.
How far away do you expect people to come? Because you can't have a show if it's just townies from Warren. You got to have people coming from all points.
I mean, there's plenty of places around Warren that I'm sure we'll be pulling from. I'm not familiar exactly with all those other communities. Maybe some Niles people will show up.
Okay.
Maybe some, trying to think of other stuff that's out that way. I mean, if you're in Youngstown, it's not that far away.
Okay.
Even I don't even think East Palestine's that far away.
Oh, boy. And people are looking for reasons to get out of there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
If you want to laugh the toxins right out of your body, come see me.
Come laugh the toxins away with Bill Squire. There isn't even toxic masculinity at a Bill Squire show. So you don't have to worry about that at all. Right? Because you're not woke, is what the...
Bill Squire's amazing.
One of the funniest guys ever.
He's not woke at all.
At all? I really want to perform with him at the Romo Fijo. In
Kreischer?
Yeah, Kreischer's doing Romo Fijo April 8th. And
tell him you're not woke. Remind him, because he knows. Remind him you're not woke.
He knows.
How amazing is that?
That would be cool.
When is that show?
I believe it's April 8th.
Is that before or after the machine comes out? Because he's going to get a nice. He's going to get a nice bump once the machine hits.
That's before. I think the machine comes out in May.
Okay.
think I have a. Sorry if I'm getting off
No, go ahead.
topic. I think I have another way to make up for the whole Derek Huff situation, because Pentatonics.
What's the Derek Huff situation?
My mom won't forgive me for.
Oh,
missing out on
okay.
getting her
I just
tickets
wanted
Derek
to
Huff.
remind people. Yeah, a little backstory here.
Yeah, and she's really into Pentatonics for whatever reason.
That's that a cappella group.
Mm-hmm. She loves their Christmas album, and she makes Alexa play all the music from them.
Mom, nobody wants to see Derek Huff. We'll get the tickets.
I saw that they were going on tour, and I asked her, did she want to go? And she said yes. And she's never been to Blossom before, so this is going to be her
You
first
got to
one.
haul ass to Blossom?
Yeah.
Outdoor a cappella music?
It's not until August, but yeah.
Oof. Okay, well.
I don't know if they're an a cappella group, but all their music is not a cappella.
I thought that was their whole hook.
That's how they got famous, but they have legit songs on the radio now.
Okay.
Too.
What song?
I don't know. I don't follow them as much, but my mom does.
And she told you they have songs on the radio?
Yeah, she
Yeah.
listens to them on Alexa, so it's not just they do have that too, but they also have songs with music behind them.
My first exposure to Pentatonics was years ago when we were visiting my parents, and they were watching Pitch Perfect, and I wanted to. A movie has never made me so angry as Pitch Perfect. And I know that some people, I know it was a massive hit. I know there's all kinds of nerds that love that stuff. That movie was so terrible. I wanted to pick up my parents' television and throw it through the window of the living room. And I don't even know why it got me so bent out of shape. Just an awful, 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 godforsaken movie of these a cappella teams that are just terrible.
They made 3 of them.
Oh, I know. They were popular movies. I'm not denying that. No way to deny that. They were very successful movies.
But they really couldn't stand on their own 2 feet just because
Good pun.
they have to put so many guest stars in them. One had Snoop Dogg and John Cena and
listen,
these huge names.
But if you have a hit movie, you're going to have people going, yeah, I'll be in the next one.
Yeah, but it was just like a cameo. So that became the whole shtick of the movie on who was going to pop up randomly with no explanation or anything.
However you get eyeballs. People love cameos, boy.
I guess.
They love uncredited cameos. What's the greatest uncredited cameo of all time? There is only one right answer, but I'll let you see if you can come up with it. The greatest uncredited cameo of all time. I'm talking about in film. The greatest uncredited cameo of all time.
I'm going to say
Devon Sawa at the end of Casper. Nailed it.
I'm going to say Tom Cruise in
Tropic Thunder?
Tropic Thunder, yeah.
I'm sorry, you're both wrong. He was credited in Tropic Thunder, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Kevin Spacey in the movie Seven is undeniably the greatest uncredited cameo of all time. I'm sorry, you're both wrong, but that's okay.
I didn't know that was a cameo, considering he felt like such a main character, even though I guess he is really only in the end.
He walks into the police station to turn himself in. He doesn't have much to do. They probably shot his scenes in a couple of days, but he was entirely uncredited in that because they didn't want to blow the surprise of his. Because Kevin Spacey was a big deal back then, and obviously he's been reduced to making Italian independent films now, wearing wigs. But when you're a thespian, you want to work. I might have come across the first case for Cody of Honor, Poundcake's new judge show.
Okay.
We have a lot of bureau chiefs that represent us in the state of Tennessee. And that state, of course, is having its own issues with a variety of things. But it's still a beautiful part of the country. We don't have anybody in Chattanooga, though, which kind of surprised me when I looked it up because it's a big city. There's a woman in Chattanooga who is suing Walmart for $3 million
Oh.
because she was hit by carts. I'm going to show this to you. If you're watching the live stream, you'll see it. The rest of you will just hear it.
On February 23rd of 2020, Christine Christopher was grabbing a grocery cart to go shopping in Walmart. As you can see in the video, she was hit by a group of carts being pushed by an employee. Christopher claims she blacked out for a second.
Now, Poundcake, I want you to watch this especially closely and tell me what the best part of this video is. They will show this clip again of her getting hit. And I want to make sure that we all see the best part of the video.
Okay, remember I'm on a delay, though, in this.
Yeah,
on the
that's fine.
YouTube.
You can see what I'm showing, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Just on the
And when
delay.
I came back to myself, I realized I had been hit and my legs was
What? Okay, the delay. What was the best part of the video?
She got hit, and I think her wig fell off.
Her wig comes completely
Oh,
off
hell no.
and
Okay.
trampled under the row of carts.
No. You ain't gonna get a bitch wig. Oh.
hurt up. My neck was hurting, my back was hurting, and I was just all messed up.
She filed a lawsuit in hopes of compensation for her injuries.
The lawsuit was filed weeks after this incident happened, but I had a lawyer during that time, but now I'm representing myself
Don't do
in
that.
Walmart.
What's that?
Don't represent yourself.
Yeah, again, not a good. This was all pre-COVID, so I don't know what she must. I don't know why you would say I'm going to represent myself against Walmart.
Now we've been going to court, but they've been denying that this ever happened, and they're not Walmart.
Christopher says till this day, she's still dealing with the injuries from the incident and is receiving treatment. She says she's taking medications to help with post-traumatic stress, nightmares, and even to eat. A doctor's notes from May of last year shows she was diagnosed with a spinal disease secondary.
Anyway, it goes on and on and on from there. She clearly wants some money from Walmart. She's suing them for $3 million because she figures, I don't know how much I'll get. Maybe she'll get a little bit. But the video itself is fantastic. It absolutely does not look like, again, who knows? You know, her bones could be like pretzels. But boy, she's really trying to stack the deck in her favor with all kinds of things. She can't sleep. She got PTSD. She got
I
neck
believe
problems.
it.
Whatever. Well, how heavy was that wig is my question. Maybe she got the neck issues from it being knocked off her head.
I don't know how heavy it is, but her mistake would be not having it sewn down or something. You got to pin it down.
That's what surprised me. I don't know of anyone who just puts a wig on their head.
You always got to be prepared for a bitch to snatch your wig. So you.
Well, I mean,
so-
she's like a 70-year-old woman. I don't think she's worried that somebody's going to run up and
But that's when incidents like this
grab
happen.
her tracks.
I agree with the fact that she sued for $3 million. I probably would have sued for more because that Yaki number 5 Jet Black is expensive, and you knocked it off.
Yaki number 5. That's who's helping us tomorrow back there in the video department. Yaki number 5.
The angle of this lawsuit is wrong. It shouldn't be towards her back problems. You got to go with the wig. You got to go with the wig. You know, all the trauma, like people aren't used to seeing me. I used to be a happy-go-lucky person when I have my head full of hair. And then you hit me, you yanked it off, and now all the embarrassment, the trauma, I'm on camera, I have to relive this.
Well,
look at all the pain and suffering.
But I also think that it's weird for somebody who's representing herself that the one thing she doesn't mention is embarrassment, which I think
That's what I'm
might
saying.
right, but she doesn't mention that, and that would be unless she considers that part of her post-traumatic stress disorder. But embarrassment is there are people that made cases with less than that before. She said that she blacked out, and then when she realized she'd been hit, her legs were all scarred up. Again, I don't know how a row of carts scars your legs, but yeah, the neck, sure. I mean, you're not expecting to get hit
There is
in
a
the back
level,
like that.
there is a level of empathy for people with hair. I don't know what her. I'm just saying.
Wait. Let's sit with that for a second. There's a level of empathy for people with hair.
Oh, I'm sorry. People with no hair.
With no hair. Okay.
Because people with hair will look at that like, oh, she doesn't have any hair. Like this is how she goes through her day. And they don't know her condition. They don't know if she has alopecia. They don't know if she's just didn't do her hair right. And the people who are there with her, that also wear wigs, they can relate because they're like, oh hell no, like her hair probably wasn't braided. They had no sympathy for this old woman just sitting there. They just saw a poof full of hair and just thought they was like, oh, they gonna knock it off. So it was done with intentional malice. Or is that the same thing?
Malice aforethought, I think, is a legal term you're thinking of. But he's this is great. He's leaning into Cody of Honor.
I know.
He's figuring
ready
it out
to go.
here. He is ready to go.
Yeah, she's just
Might
suing
be
for
his
the wrong
call.
angle. She's suing for the wrong angle. If she wants to get public sympathy, she needs to go with the wig part. And she needs to. What I would have done in that interview, I would have taken it off like, see, you don't understand. Look at this wig.
I
This
think
is
if
all I
she-
have. This is my pride.
But here's the problem, is if you get rid of your lawyer, see, your lawyer is going to fight tooth and nail for you for them to settle because your lawyer gets a cut.
Mm-hmm.
In her mind, she's like, well, whatever they settle for, I want all of it. I don't want to end up paying a lawyer out. But that's what's going to screw her because she doesn't know what she's doing. Walmart's like, we're not giving you any money. Walmart sent a 2-sentence statement. We want our customers to have a safe and enjoyable shopping experience. We plan to continue to defend the company. So it's like, that's a statement that says nothing. You know, hey, we want everybody to have fun. Screw yourself. We're not doing anything.
Yeah, I don't know.
She has another court date set for June 6th. This has been going on since February of 2020.
Yeah, when you're suing for that amount of money, you need a lawyer.
Well, which to Walmart is not, that's no amount of money at all. For Walmart, $3 million?
Yeah,
They probably got that in their pockets walking around.
But when it comes to that, it's big bank take little bank, and they don't. Even though it's not anything to them, they can just say, "Screw you, make us." We're not going to just give you $3 million. If you fight for it, then maybe, because it's no sweat either way. They have lawyers, and even if they will pay it, even if the court says they have to pay it, they can just push it back, because that's the power of a big corporation. They don't have to go to court right away.
But I also
They'll drain your
wonder,
finances.
well, no, these kind of cases never go to court. They settle or whatever, and that's what I would imagine 99% of the people who file these kinds of cases are completely expecting them to settle.
But in order,
she's like, I'm not going to get $3 million. I'll be happy with $100,000.
Yeah, but like even to do that, even to settle, you have to have appointments for. It's either going to go through arbitration or mediation, and either one of those you could push back. Walmart doesn't have to comply. You can't make them comply. So you have to get public pressure on them. And you do that by complaining about my scalp. That's what you do.
He's figuring this all out. He's getting the terms, right?
Like,
what's arbitration?
Arbitration is it's a alternative to going to court. You're
good enough for me.
People
understand that, right?
You're meeting with an arbitrator. It's
kind of a negotiation. Right?
Yeah, right.
Businesses and corporations.
That's right.
Settling outside of court. They don't want to have it because you can have it privately.
That's right.
It doesn't have to have any public knowledge whatsoever.
He's got it here. He's got it. What's the difference between an arbitrator and a mediator?
A mediator is also another alternative to arbitration. It's just mainly you pay for a mediator between both plaintiff and what's the other one? Plaintiff.
You tell me. What's the name?
Can agree on. They
plaintiff and what?
Defendant.
Yep.
And it's the middleman. It's the mediator. So it's also another alternative. I think companies can choose which one they want.
Well, arbitration's more formal. Yeah. But man, this is all lining up for him.
I know. I'm impressed.
Maybe the lawyer dropped her. I don't know what it would take for a lawyer to drop a case where they get some scratch from a Walmart settlement, but maybe that's what happened.
He probably wanted to go with the hair angle, and he was like, we have to replay this multiple times on YouTube, Twitter, TikTok, and people need to feel embarrassed for you. The more embarrassment they feel for you, the more they will push to get you a settlement. Bitch, listen to me. He's like,
you think the lawyer called her bitch? I mean, that would just be plain rude.
If he's trying to get, I think
that could get you written up by the Bar Association.
A lawyer can call you a bitch.
Why would they do that? You're their client.
It's the power of attorney.
I was like, you're acting bitch-like.
They're working on your behalf.
Bitch, listen to me.
I think that you could probably make your case more forcefully without calling your client a bitch.
Well,
I mean, if they were smart, you're right. They would have shown that piece of video over and over again, not only forwards, but backwards, where the wig goes back on her head.
Yeah.
It comes out from underneath the row of carts, flies up, back on her head. That's how you want to do it. You want to do like...
But to your point, Alan...
backwards and forwards.
Benny Hill music.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, if you notice here, my client was in a state of distress, disarray.
But to your point, Alan, the fact that she didn't mention it just shows how embarrassed she actually is, because this actually works in her favor.
But when you're trying to get money from a multinational corporation, pride ain't got nothing to do with it. Being embarrassed, that's the first thing you throw out.
But there is still, it's public. Public is now knowing the ins and outs. Like, listen, I ain't got no hair. I lost my husband because he wanted something to pull on. You know, when he
that's
was
all irrelevant. But that's irrelevant. He wanted something to pull on.
It's not irrelevant.
Losing your husband in this case is irrelevant.
No, it's not.
All right, I'm testing him, and he's passing with flying colors. This judge show is going to come together.
Where's my gavel?
Maybe you should have been a lawyer, man.
Yeah, lawyer man.
Go back to law school?
Cody Brown, lawyer man.
Go to law school? Figure this out?
Hey, that's why and it would be like the Diaries of the Helpful Brown. Public defender.
God, could you imagine him in law school?
PCPD.
PD?
Public
defender. Oh, man. Yep. PCJDPD.
Poundcake. I make them gay.
You want to talk about some compelling eyebrows? Look at this guy. All right, I got to break all those Monsters tickets for you. Want to go see your Cleveland Monsters? Get a little hockey under your belt? They're going to be playing the Grand Rapids Griffins 1 week from tomorrow night at Romo Fijo. So if you dig hockey, I'll hook you up coming back. 35192. Want to text for anything else, and we'll be back.
It's the Alan Cox Show. Everywhere on our free iHeartRadio app.